We're effectively a full-blown production company run solely by student employees. Any kind of production, any concerts, conferences, large scale, we do those here with student workers who use anything from full concert systems, full audio systems, lighting, videography services with multi-camera shoots, and we produce all of that in-house.
If any of you at any point put this or have a desire to learn how
TMM is our meeting where we get all of our team members together. We go over scheduling things, any issues that might have occurred on a shift, like a client turned something off that they weren't supposed to during a meeting. We'll talk about that. Any various announcements from any members of management on the training side of things or on the project and inventory side of things.
My initial task is to get started at Thursday morning meeting to see what technicians are actually available for that event. During that, I'll say, hey, who wants to be the sound tech? Someone will respond, who wants to be the light tech? No one responds, I guess it's me today. And then video tech, of course, we always have a couple of people that are able to volunteer for that. So after that, it's my responsibility to ensure that each of those techs have enough people on their own teams to make sure that the event happens. So I'll look at generally what setup is gonna look like and ensure that we get, let's just say 2-3 people working on sound, 2-3 people working on lights, and a couple of people working on video during the setup process so that we can ensure that the event gets set up. GC Olympics Day yet, we have not fully planned that bit out. It probably won't be, because I actually want to use it for training.
So when planning for larger events, especially from a sound technician side, usually one thing I'll do is I'll kind of diagram the space we're in. I'll look at the speakers that I want to have in there. There's also some calculations that can be run to ensure that coverage is really good. After kind of diagramming, usually for larger events like our drag show or spring large show, we'll have a tech meeting where we get everybody together. We'll talk lighting, if there's any video needs, and we'll talk sound needs just to make sure everybody's on the same page. And usually we'll kind of come up with a timeline for the setup of the event. Like what do we need to get accomplished first? Where do we want to be after this day? If it's like a 2-day setup.
Okay.
Or a 1/4-inch cable, do you know what that is? You know the ones that, like, good guitar jack?
Yeah.
One of those.
Okay.
If you get confused, ask Brad.
We're moving on to the event. We get there, and it's time to start rolling cases. So we all generally will start up in the MOS. We'll roll them all into the event space, whether that's going to be like the terrace, Great Hall. If we're going over to a different building, we have a truck that we're borrowing and put all the cases in the truck. After that, you actually start the setup process. What I like to do is sit down with the team right away and make sure, again, that we're all comfortable with what we're doing. We try to be a dynamic team where we can each work with each other and fill in where needed.
This one has Mega Babies, which are basically little lights. We have speakers in this one, subs in this one. Over here we have our Ethernet case. I just did this semester actually. So we have like all your short Ethernet needs up top. And then anything long is, down below in case you need it.
This is actually called the post, and it goes in the base, like this. That same distance.
I'm in charge of the whole event for audio. I'm running audio. I'm in charge of whipping these guys into shape to get audio set up.
Ethan is troubleshooting a patching issue. So not all of his stuff was working when he tried to, what we call a rumble test. You just send through sound to make noise in order to make sure everything's working. And some stuff wasn't correct, so he's troubleshooting using the basics of path of sound, which literally just means follow from the input, follow the path it takes through everything to the speaker, find where it's not working. Because at some point you'll stop getting the signal.
Well, that sounds good. There we go. Take a walk around again. Turn them up a little bit more.
Up a bit more.
Hello. Testing 1, 2. I have the brown microphone. I hear a little ringing. I don't know what that is. But yeah.
After that event is, mostly set up, if there's like a band, we'll get them in and get things sound checked and make sure everything's operational.
Jump, everybody! Jump, 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 jump! Everybody jump!
What's really going on behind the scenes? I'm looking, is there a light that's a little too bright? now during this specific song that feels like, wow, this is a sad, slow song. Maybe the stage shouldn't be this bright. Or is it like a super upbeat pop song that everyone knows? Should I make it more flashy? Make it so that the audience actually interacts with the artist? Again, if we're looking at sound, are there certain frequencies in like the speakers that sound wrong? Is the kick thumping hard enough? Is it the guitar sounds too harsh? Can I actually hear the keys? Stuff like that. You're going through, you're constantly adjusting something. No matter what position of a tech you're in, there is something to always be doing.
The devil? The devil is your mascot?
After that, it's tear down and store everything back up and prepare for the next one.
So here's under, right? And then we go over the top.
Within 10, 15 minutes, you're already on teardown. That means is you undo everything you did about 3 hours earlier. So you're tearing down speakers. You're taking down lights. You're taking the clamps off those lights. You're unplugging various microphones and putting them back in the case. And you're rolling all the cases back to the elevator, back up the elevator, and then back into the moss, where finally they end up on a shelf for someone to lose again. It always happens. It's just the nature of the job.
Teamwork.
An interesting part about our culture as a work group is that there's no experience necessary to join our team.
We're a very close group of coworkers. I think everyone gets along really well. We're all kind of similar people. We all have the same, similar interests, similar hobbies.
I'd say it's relatively the same throughout the years. It's definitely in the general terms the same, but there are quite a few differences as well, just from different people.
It's mostly a similar interest in technology, learning new things, being a part of campus events that unites our team members. Everybody comes in with varying degrees of experience, 0 to I was a theater kid, to I ran sound at my church as a high school student. And when everybody comes together, it's interesting to see different ways they can learn, different things they can learn, how they can teach each other, how Trevor and I can potentially teach them more things. The
one constant that I've noticed with the culture that exists here is that they all get along. They hang out outside of work. There's like some inherent sense of pride in what it is that they do, and it's not just while they're here. And I think that's a really cool thing to see, and to see that's been consistent. Part of me would like to believe that I have something to do with that, but I know it's just the students taking pride in what it is that they do and really wanting to do the best job that they can. Good job, buddy. Yeah. What else do you know? Nothing? Thanks, buddy.